This is Impact Wrestling.
Hey everyone, it's John, your host of Sudden Impact, and welcome to this week's episode. So this week's episode will be covering a review of this Night 2 of the Rebellion pay-per-view from Impact Wrestling. So basically, the night started off with a four-way match between Chris Bey, I think Trey from the Rascals, Rohit Raju from the Desi Hit Squad, and I can't remember who else was there. Yeah, I'm just searching that up. So it was a pretty decent match. I mean, you had four really strong workers in this match, and of course it tended to be at times be a little bit of a spot fest, but hey, at least it had a lot of action to it, and you can't fault Impact Wrestling for that. Okay, so oh yeah, the last person was Suicide, of course. Now, Suicide is a masked wrestler, so we're not really sure who is under the mask. Is it TJP or is it Jake Christ? We don't know. It hasn't been said. So the next match was Joseph P. Ryan, or Joey Ryan, as you may know. Some of you may know him. The Joseph P. Ryan character is this new character that he's going with at the moment, as part of the group that he's in now called Cancel Culture, which is sort of like a parody or a take on WWE's Right to Censor. So it's basically where all these wrestlers like Rob Van Dam, Katie Forbes, and Joey Ryan all came together and decided, hey, we're not getting the respect that we feel we deserve by playing our normal characters, so we're just gonna play it straight-laced. And so with this one, it's a good way. It's a good move for Joey Ryan to get Joseph P. Ryan to develop, to see if he can develop his character further, and play a different style of character. One thing I would like to see more from Joseph P. Ryan and the rest of Cancel Culture is them actually doing some in-ring interviews, like saying why they're actually doing it, and just like being involved in that, just using that to develop their characters further as a part of the Cancel Culture group. So this match was against Cousin Jake from the Dinas. So Cousin Jake was a massive guy, and so but Joey Ryan seemed to manage to find a way to counter all of his power moves and control the match. And basically, Cousin Jake never got any real momentum behind him so that he could be in a winning position, and basically that was it. Joseph P. Ryan won the match because of that. Now, the next match, this was a brilliant match. It was the first full Metal Mayhem match, which is like the equivalent of a tables, ladders, and chairs match from the WWE, between two women's wrestlers. So that's like the first time that's ever been done in any major company. So both WWE, Impact Wrestling, or All Elite Wrestling. Sorry, sorry about that. But of course, if it hasn't been, if that's not the case, please feel free to yell at me in the comment section down below. All right, and this was an absolutely brutal match between Rosemary and Havoc, and they had, before the match, they had a video package build up to basically say what led to this match, and it did a really good job in saying, getting the viewers invested in this match who probably haven't seen, or if you haven't seen it, or know about the situation between Rosemary and Havoc. Yeah, so watch the video package and you won't be disappointed. So Rosemary won, which was actually a good win for her, because she just has been back from injury for a while now, and I think this was her first real match on Impact Wrestling after she's come back from her injury, and she had quite an impressive showing. That's not to say that Havoc didn't, but yeah. And during the match, Nevaeh Christ, who was Jake Christ's wife, maybe Dave Christ, but came down, was seen in the arena, where the crowd usually is, and she was just standing there for most of the match. So some of you may not know, on the independent circuit, which is the smaller companies, Havoc and Nevaeh, as she's known, are part of a team called the Killer Death Machines. So it's really interesting to see Nevaeh in Impact Wrestling. I mean, because she's there with her husband, who's part of the OVE squad, and now she's also there with her tag team partner in Havoc. So this just remains to be seen what happens going down the track with them. And this seems to be Impact Wrestling Management's introducing more women's tag teams into the women's division. So hopefully that means they'll bring back the Knockouts tag team championships. Even Taya Valkyrie has said that on her Twitter, that, like, just this last week, that she'd love for the the Knockouts tag team titles to be brought back into Impact Wrestling, and hopefully that is the case. And so for the last match, Michael Elgin came down to the ring and basically said that he was going to sort out the world title problem, because, as you know, both Tessa Blanchard and Eddie Edwards were not there to compete in their scheduled match, and Michael Elgin felt that because of that he should be awarded the Impact World Championship. And as he was yelling at the ref to get in the ring and just award him the victory, and then proclaim him the Impact World Champion, Moose came out, And Moose was wearing the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So some of you may not know that the TNA World Heavyweight Championship was the previous World Championship that Impact Wrestling used back when they were known as Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling. And that title sort of was like phased out and given no real reason as to why it was phased out. I think the last match it was in was a unification match between Bobby Lashley and Alberto El Patron at the time, and Alberto El Patron, who was the Global Force Wrestling Champion, won that match and unified it with the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and that was the last time you saw that belt. So with that, Moose bringing it back again from the previous episode where all the old Impact Wrestling or TNA wrestlers came back for one night, and the championship was on the announcers table, and after Moose won his match he went to the table and just took the championship. And so, well, so he came out that night wearing it and saying, "Hey, Elgin, you're saying you want to be a world champion. I'm a world champion, so why don't you fight me?" And then before the bell could ring, Hernandez, who was a TNA original wrestler and founding member of LAX, Edithway, came out to the ring and injected himself into the match. So, and it was a pretty solid match because all of the guys were able to do their really hard-hitting, impactful moves on each other, and it didn't make it seem at all that it wasn't believable, like as is the case with Tessa Blanchard in some of her matches against heavyweights. So hopefully this means going forward that we'll see another an actual unification match between the Impact World Championship and the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. But yeah, and so Moose defeated Hernandez with the spear because I'm guessing that that's the way to protect Michael Elgin's momentum. So that when Tessa Blanchard comes back from Mexico from her isolation or whatever happened with that situation, he can challenge her for the championship, and yeah, he can win it and then go on to have a unification match with Moose. Now that one would be an excellent match to build up for their next pay-per-view, which I'm thinking at this stage would be Slammiversary. They haven't announced their next pay-per-view, which they normally do at the current on the current night of the pay-per-view that they're airing. But hey, it's usually in summer, Slammiversary, so well, it's going into summer in America now, so odds are it would be a good option to have that match. It would be, and hopefully by that stage the restrictions are relaxed so that people can actually be in the crowd for watching that match. And I mean, to have someone like Moose, who's been with the company for a long time now and has been working his way up the match card, would be a great payoff for him to win it. Well, so that ends the review of Night Tour Rebellion. Please like, share and subscribe to the Sudden Impact channel on Facebook and YouTube, and please leave any comments and ring the notification bell for updates on new content, guys. Thank you.